US President Donald Trump says he's terminating trade talks with Canada over an ad featuring the words of former US President Ronald Reagan. Ontario's provincial government released the ad with audio from Reagan's 1987 speech, where he said tariffs hurt American workers and consumers. In a social media post, President Trump called the ad fake and announced the end of negotiations. Paula Newton is back with us this hour. And Paula, we were just hearing from Mark Carney before we boarded a plane to Asia a short time ago. Tell us what we heard.
Hello, guys. So let's just get started. This just happened at the White House briefing room in front of the entire press corps. And honestly, it might be the most chaotic, embarrassing, and unhinged press briefing we've seen in decades.
Well, what we heard is that a lot of this is not in Canada's control. It is a sobering message, not just for Canadians, but for others trying to get a good trade deal with the United States, or making sure that any agreement that is signed is not changed via social media posts.
February 23rd, 2026 will go down as the day White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt completely lost control and fell apart on live television. She was supposed to brief the press on Trump's policies. She was supposed to answer important questions about what's happening in the administration.
For months, we have stressed the importance of distinguishing things we can control and things we can't control. We can't control the trade policy of the United States. We recognize that that policy has fundamentally changed.
It seems now that that is off the table. I mean, Christina, look, the Prime Minister was very clear yesterday. He tried to raise the Prime Minister on the phone just to try and talk about a World Series bet. And even that didn't work out for him. He wasn't able to get that call in. So we will see if any communication happens on these long.
She was supposed to defend the White House record. Instead, she spent the entire briefing getting cornered on lies, caught spreading misinformation, challenged with actual facts from official government sources, and contradicted by her own numbers. And when she couldn't handle it, she snapped. She yelled at reporters. She kicked them out. She stormed off the podium. It was an absolute disaster broadcast to millions of people. Here's exactly what went down. Leavitt was defending Trump's tariff policy, claiming it had created 500,000 jobs for Americans. 500,000 new jobs, that's her number. That's what she said at the podium. That's what the White House is officially claiming. Then a reporter asked about real data, actual data, official government data from the Department of Labor, which is part of the Trump administration itself. That Labor Department data shows the tariffs have actually cost 300,000 jobs, not created cost, the exact opposite of what Leavitt was claiming. The reporter called her out on it in real time. He cited the actual Labor Department numbers. He said, "Your numbers are completely wrong and contradicted by your own government agencies." And Leavitt just lost it. She started yelling at the reporter. She said those were fake stats. She said that's misinformation. She said the reporter was lying and spreading falsehoods. Her face turned red. She was visibly shaken and disturbed. Then she literally ejected him from the briefing room. She pointed at him and said, "You're done here. Get out. Leave." She kicked a reporter out of the White House press briefing for asking a question, for citing official government data, for doing his job as a journalist and holding the government accountable. That's not how a press secretary behaves in a functioning democracy. That's how an authoritarian acts. Then came the Iran question. Another brave reporter asked about Trump's recent military strikes against Iran. Were they properly authorized? Was Congress fully briefed? Did they follow constitutional requirements? Leavitt claimed Congress was completely and fully briefed on everything. Congress knew all the information. They were consulted properly. They had all the details they needed. But that directly contradicts what Republican Senator John Thune said publicly just yesterday. Thune said the briefing was inadequate and insufficient. He said Congress wasn't fully informed about the scope and details. He said Trump didn't follow proper procedures. When the reporter brought up Thune's statement, Leavitt went absolutely ballistic. She called Thune a traitor. She said he was a traitor to America. She said he was leaking information to hurt the country. She said he was disloyal to the president. She attacked a Republican senator on camera in front of the entire press corps at a White House briefing, with cameras rolling and the whole nation watching. That's shocking behavior. That's attacking your own party. That's what someone does when they're desperate and have no facts to back up their claims. And then she abruptly cut the briefing short. She said, "We're done here. That's it." The entire briefing lasted 12 minutes total. 12 minutes. That might be the shortest White House press briefing in modern American history. She answered a few questions, got caught lying about the job numbers, got caught being contradicted about Iran by a Republican senator, ejected a reporter for asking tough questions, called a Republican senator a traitor on live television, and then just walked off. She didn't answer more questions. She didn't provide context or clarification. She didn't defend her position. She just gave up and stormed away. The whole thing was captured on video and went absolutely viral. 22 million views already in just a few hours, trending everywhere with the hashtag Leavitt lies over one. 2 million posts about this briefing. The footage is brutal. You can see Leavitt's face when the reporter cites the actual Labor Department data contradicting her claims. You can see the moment she realizes she's been caught in a lie. Understanding and fear and shock cross her face. She struggles to formulate a response. Then she just yells and ejects him. The AP reporter who got ejected tweeted immediately afterward. He said she lied about Bondi's testimony, too. She's lying about everything. Total backfire. She couldn't defend any of her claims. When reporters called her out with facts, she threw them out. That's not how a free press works. That's not how government accountability functions in a democracy. That's authoritarian behavior. That's someone who's not fit to be press secretary. And this is happening the night before Trump's State of the Union address, the most important speech of his presidency so far in his second term. Tomorrow night, Trump has to go on television in prime time and talk about his accomplishments and his vision. He's supposed to inspire the nation. He's supposed to sound confident and presidential and in control. But tonight, his press secretary just got caught lying repeatedly about jobs and military briefings. She ejected reporters. She called a Republican senator a traitor. She lost her temper on live TV. That's the story now. That's what everyone's talking about. That's what's trending. Not Trump's achievements, not his vision. The story is that his press secretary is spreading misinformation and silencing the press. This is the culmination of the worst day in Trump's presidency so far, maybe the worst day ever. The West are out testimony about hush money payments ordered by Trump. The Canada tariff rejection, his own Republican Party voting against him, Fox News cutting him off on live television for lying, his Attorney General getting humiliated in a House hearing, and now his press secretary getting caught lying and ejecting reporters. Everything is falling apart simultaneously. Every single part of his administration is in chaos. Every institution around him is failing. Every ally is either getting caught lying or betraying him or falling apart. And tomorrow, Trump has to get up and give the State of the Union and pretend everything's fine. Pretend he's in control. Pretend everything is going well. Good luck with that. Nobody's going to believe it. Let's talk about why this matters so much. The White House press secretary is the public face of the entire administration, the voice of the president, the person who's supposed to answer questions and provide information to the public. What we saw today was someone completely unprepared for the job. Someone who can't handle tough questions or facts that contradict her position. Someone who lies about job numbers and then attacks the messenger when confronted with the truth. The Labor Department data shows the tariffs cost 300,000 jobs. Not created them. That's not a rounding error. That's not a matter of perspective. That's a complete inversion of reality. That's lying deliberately to the American people. And when a reporter cited the actual official data, she called it fake. She denied reality itself. She attacked him and kicked him out. That's not professional behavior. That's what someone does when they don't have facts on their side. That's what someone does when they're desperate to avoid admitting the truth. The Iran situation is just as bad. Congress has constitutional oversight responsibility over military action. They're supposed to be briefed. They're supposed to have input. That's one of the fundamental checks and balances in our system. Leavitt claimed Congress was fully briefed. A Republican senator contradicted her. Instead of acknowledging it or explaining the administration's position, she called him a traitor. You don't call Republican senators traitors when they question military policy. That's authoritarian behavior. That's how you fracture your own party and turn supporters against you. The 12-minute briefing is unprecedented. Press briefings normally last 30 minutes, 45 minutes, sometimes an hour. The press has legitimate questions. The press secretary should answer them professionally. Leavitt couldn't do that. She got caught lying. She got contradicted. She couldn't defend herself, so she just ended it and walked off. The viral footage and hashtag are devastating. 22 million people saw her get caught. 1, 2 million posts about it. It's dominating social media everywhere. People are watching the press secretary lie about jobs. They're watching her kick out reporters for asking tough questions and citing facts. They're wondering if they can trust anything this administration says. This ties directly to all the other chaos. Bondi's hearing meltdown, Westerhout's testimony, Fox News cutting Trump off, Canada rejecting tariffs, his own party voting against him. Every piece of the administration is failing. And now Trump has to give the State of the Union tomorrow. He has to sound credible. He has to sound presidential. But his press secretary just spent the day before showing the entire country that this administration can't be trusted, that it lies about basic facts, that it attacks anyone who points out the truth. How credible is Trump going to sound tomorrow? How much will people believe what he says when his entire administration is so clearly dishonest and chaotic? Not much. Leavitt will probably try to spin this. She'll claim the press is hostile or biased. She'll claim the Labor Department data was wrong. She'll try to move forward like nothing happened, but 22 million people saw it. It's everywhere. The damage is done. Trump will probably address it in his speech tomorrow. He'll try to defend his policies and his press secretary. He'll try to look strong. He'll attack the media, but the context is so damaging. The context is so chaotic. The context is so full of dysfunction. This has been one of the worst days of Trump's second term, and we're only in February. There's still months to go before the midterms. There's the trial coming in March. There's more legal problems mounting. This is just the beginning of what's probably going to be a very difficult period for Trump politically, legally, and administratively. Stay tuned. The State of the Union tomorrow is going to be one of the most important speeches of Trump's presidency. It will either help him recover from this absolutely chaotic day or make things even worse. Either way, this has been a disaster, and it's all on video for the whole world to